Hey, what's up, guys? It's Russo, and we're going to get into some more college basketball today. I had a lot of fun. Shout out again to that dude Trench. I don't know. I'm probably saying your username wrong, but he asked me about putting out some college plays, and I had a blast yesterday. We didn't get the sweep, but I mentioned to you guys we're just testing the waters here, and sort of getting to know. Taking what we do with NBA and transferring it over with the same approach in college basketball. And I had a lot of fun yesterday. And there's so many teams and so many games going on. So here's what we ended up taking. Yesterday, we took Nick Davidson over 19.5 points assists. He only went for 14. Unfortunately, that one did not hit. Kobe Sanders, we took him over 25.5 fantasy score. He went nuts, 42.3. We took Kobe Johnson over 15.5 PRA. He got this done pretty quick for us. He went for 19. And then Oumar Ballo, unfortunately, he had a slow start, opened the game 1 of 4, and was kind of getting things rolling here in the third quarter for us. Got us up to 20, and then they were kind of trailing the whole game. Looked like they kind of switched and went a little bit more small ball. They could be a little bit quicker, and they were kind of sort of rallying back a little bit. And I was thinking, like, great, 5 minutes left. He's probably done because the small ball approach is working. And then they bring him back in with like 2 minutes. I'm like, can he get this done? It is possible. And then his first play, he turns the ball over. It wasn't really his fault. It was kind of like a bad pass. But as soon as that turnover happened, the coach brought him back out, went small ball again. So he did not cash for us, but I'm optimistic. There's going to be a little bit of a learning curve here, and I'm excited. I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys did too. So I've got 4 plays picked out for today. I know we've got like a pretty big slate that's starting just at noon. Also, by the way, I don't know if you guys saw I put out a demon slip yesterday using my same approach, went through outlier, and actually did pretty decent on that. Oumar, I took him over 14.5 points. I didn't make a video for this, but I posted it at the community section. Oumar didn't get it done, unfortunately. I was really hoping he would, because even just 5 of 6 on this would have been pretty fat. That would have been 15x. But we went 4 of 6 on these demons, and so we got 3x if you tailed this slip. It was Nick Davidson, who had gone for 23 or more in every head-to-head. I was really expecting him to be able to pop off points-wise. He only went for 11, kind of a bummer, but we still hit all 4 of these demons. So we 3x'd. So it was fun, man. I'm really excited to be getting into college ball now. I've been wanting to for a while, and it seemed like the right time during the All-Star break, so we can not have to try to play these All-Star events that are going to be super hard to predict. So here's what I'm liking for today. I'm going to be going with Cooper Flagg. My father-in-law will be proud of this one, be happy. He's a Duke fan. We live out in North Carolina. And so I like Cooper Flagg. Just give me the fantasy score because I want that defensive upside. This will be a lot of fun watching this game later. And all of these picks, they're all like about 5 hours away. So I know that the games start at noon, but the picks that I took happened to give us a little bit of time. If you're watching this video, they're all mid to later games. So we're going Cooper Flagg over 38.5 fantasy score. We're going Tyson Degenhart over 24.5 fantasy score. I don't know how to say this dude's name. I tried looking it up. It's Corbett. Is it Jahsean? Jahsean, that's what I would assume. You guys let me know. I like him to go over 7.5 points. I wish we had more for this. I've been watching film on all these guys, and I'm having a blast learning about all these players, because I usually don't pay attention to them until it's NBA draft time. We got guys coming into the NBA, but this dude is amazing on defense. I wish we could get his fantasy score, but they're only giving us his points. The points line at 7.5 I do like, though, so I'm going to take what I can get, because I'm a pretty big fan of this kid from what I've watched so far. And then we're going to go Malachi Smith over 4.5 assists. I like this assist line a lot. So both these guys in the same game. And then, so we're covering 3 different games between the 4 plays. So let's start breaking it down, man. I'm excited for day 2 with college basketball. If you guys don't mind, do me a favor, like the video, drop me a comment. You guys know how much that helps, and you guys have been awesome about it, so I really appreciate it. I'm like almost 800 subs, trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, and you guys just really been awesome. I really appreciate the support. So Cooper Flagg, for starters, if we're just looking at his fantasy score on the 2024 season alone, we're already sitting at a 67% hit rate. We know that this guy, there's talk about him potentially being the #1 draft pick. Super young player who is playing far beyond his years. Solid on both sides of the ball. Really good at from what I've watched, really good at like facilitating. He can do everything, and solid on defense. So 67% hit rate, 16 out of 24 games he's cleared this, and it's usually by a pretty decent amount. If we look at the last 5, it's a little bit sketchier. 3 out of his last 5, but you can see it's kind of correlating with the minutes here. Not in this game here against Clemson. He had 38 minutes, still only went for 35. Let's see how he shot in that game. He just had a poor shooting performance. He was putting up the shots. That's what we want. He's only averaging just under 14 attempts a game. He had 17 attempts in this game, so it's not like every time he matches up. Every time he's out playing, he's gonna go 6 of 17. So that kind of makes sense, and he still almost hit it. Looking relatively solid. Over the last 5 games, averaging 33.8 minutes. We're getting the minutes we want. 1.2 fouls, keeping it clean. 13.8 attempts, shooting 46% from the field. 50% from beyond the arc, just 4 attempts. If you're shooting 50%, I'd like to see you put up a little bit more. Let's get that up to 6 or 7 attempts, but still we'll take 2 made threes a game on average. That game against Clemson, when he actually wasn't shooting great, he was shooting good from beyond the arc. He had 6 attempts. He cashed 3 of them. So feeling good about this. And then we got this note from Outlier. He's exceeded 38.5 fantasy score in 7 of his last 8 games at home. So he's playing really good at home. 46.9 fantasy score is what he's averaging at home. His lowest outing was 44.5, and he did that twice. His last home game, he went for 44.5. So we're like, mid 40s here is what we're averaging, and we're getting this at 38.5. So I like it. I love the upside for the blocks and steals. I mean, look at these last 4 home games. 3 of those, he has 3 steals. That's 9 fantasy points right there. Let's see about blocks. And then, he has 6 total blocks. So what is that? So let's just say his last 4 home games, we've got 5 blocks and 9 steals. 5 blocks and 9 steals in his last 4 home games. It's just this one game. It looks like it was that Syracuse against Syracuse. That was an absolute blowout. He really didn't need to do much defensively, 83-54. So I love the fantasy score for this because we get 3 points for every block and steal. So that stacks up quick when you got a guy who's good on both sides of the ball. So really feeling good about this. Once again, at home, over his last 8 games, he's got an 88% hit rate. 7 out of 8 games he's cleared this. And then this game against looks like Miami, 89-54. I bet you his minutes weren't that. He only played 28 minutes. Like, you don't really need him to do much in that situation. Let's take a look at the matchup for the PRA. So the thing I like about this is a case where I actually like the matchup for rebounding and assisting is a little bit tougher. If this was just absolute green, then maybe his minutes are going to be in that mid to high 20s. But maybe they can keep this relatively close. So for his PRA, he's cleared it 7 out of his last 10 games. Middle of the road when it comes to the points matchup, and then tough on rebounds, tough on assists. So I hope that this can be a close game, playing in North Carolina. I'm sure I'll be watching this game later with my father-in-law, but I'm really excited to be able to get this at just 38.5. Let's take a look at Daily Grind and see what they think. All right. So they like his points over. Again, I'm pretty sure for college ball, the Daily Grind's not pulling up the fantasy score for whatever reason. They think that a lot of his other stuff is somewhat inflated. What the optimizer is doing is looking for discrepancies, looking for if you're getting a value on the platform that you're set to. So I have it set to Prizepicks, and it is assuming that a lot of these lines are a little bit inflated. What happens is most people that are playing today for college ball are probably taking an over on Cooper Flagg. So once there's like a decent amount of overs that are taken, Prizepicks just hedges their bets by bumping up the line, and they keep inching it up until the public starts taking unders. So what happens is they get X amount of people took overs, X amount of people took unders, and they kind of hedge themselves. So it's like if the majority of the public takes the over and he goes over, then Prizepicks just loses a lot of money. If they keep bumping that line up and they encourage some people like, hey, this is too high, I'm going to take the under, then they kind of hedge their bets where half of you are losing, half of you are winning. It's how every sports book works. So yeah, the only thing that they're really liking for a value is his points over. They have it at a 50.41% odds to hit the over minus 121. They don't like the PRA at 31.5. I'm not betting against this kid though. Even if it is bumped up a little bit, if I'm taking it, I'm taking the over. But I like that we're getting the fantasy score so we can stack up all of that defensive upside in a home game. So, all right, let's keep it rolling. So Tyson Degenhart. Again, so we're looking at his fantasy score here, 71% hit rate on the 2024 season. That's already what we're looking at. When I get into the 70% range for the overall season, I'm already like, okay, let's talk about this. Like, because that's what I'm looking for. If we want a good hit rate, we don't want these plays that are like, oh, he's hit this, 40% of the time, 50% of the time. I want well over 65% before I'm even considering a play. That's just my approach. But yeah, so 71% hit rate on the 2024 season. If we take a look at his last five, been pretty solid as well. 80% hit rate, 4 out of his last 5 games. We do have a head-to-head we can take a look at. So he's only done this once in 3 head-to-heads. This last game, it was 76-88, so it's not like there was a blowout there. Let's take a look. Oh yeah, I remember. So for this kid, if we take a look at his field goals, in these head-to-heads, he's averaging 40%, not shooting a whole lot, 8.3 attempts. But if you look at this game, he made 1 bucket. That's likely not going to happen in back-to-back games if they hold him to 1 bucket. So that makes me a little bit more optimistic about this. If you look at the fantasy score, he went for 18.6. We're getting it at 24.5. So yeah, I mean, like, so he goes 1 of 7 and then 0 of 5 from beyond the arc. So to me, I'm like, okay, if this was like he's consistently, if he's consistently shooting this bad, then he's just not going to be getting minutes. But he clearly just had a bad day that day. And I believe, let's take a look. Was he active? So he had 1 steal. That would help the fantasy score. But let's go back here real quick. Was he attacking the paint? He was. So he's averaging in head-to-heads 5 attempts from the free throw line, shooting 74%, 3.7 made free throws a game. In this game, he had 8 shots from the free throw line. He shot 88%, 7 made buckets. So that tells me that he's attacking, and I'd like to see a little bit more of that today. But also, hopefully, if you watch this kid play, he can get into rhythm. This just seems like this was a bad outing. If we look at these last 5, still getting to the line a decent amount of times, averaging 6 attempts a game. And that's not like, a huge part of what we're looking at. But in a situation like this, I do want to see, like, what is this guy's game like? And to me, if you're getting to the line, if you have 6 attempts a game, you're pretty active attacking the paint. But as far as threes go, shooting 42% from beyond the arc, 3.8 attempts a game over the last 5. So you're shooting pretty good, man. You can maybe take a few more shots. His last outing, he went 3 for 3 from beyond the arc. That was a blowout, 79-52. But what I love about this is he's averaging 35 minutes a game over this 5-game stretch, which is a pretty solid sample size. If you start getting into like what he's averaged on the year, it's going to be, it's going to be up and down. I mean, like, let's just take a look at the minutes. Yeah, we can see these last 6 games, he's been 32 minutes or higher. So I love looking at the large sample size, but when I really want to see what his minutes have been like, I try to go to the last 5. Let's take a look at this note from Outlier. This is a beautiful note. Good Lord. So he's exceeded 24.5 fantasy score in 12 straight games on the road. So he's playing good on the road. We're getting it at 24.5. He's averaging 32.4. And the only reason that average isn't much higher than that is because of this, these 2 games. So we got 27.7, still cleared it, and then 28.6. But if you look at this, after this 40-point outing, he hasn't gone under 30. So dude is absolutely in rhythm on the road. I'm loving this. In these road games, he's averaging 36 minutes, just 2 fouls, keeping it clean, 53% from the field on 12.8 attempts. So his attempts have gone up on the road and his shooting percentage is up on the road. His three-pointers are looking better on the road too. 43%, 4.6 attempts. Those are up slightly as well. And then even the free throws, he's attacking a little bit more, 6.2 attempts and then 77%. He's averaging 4.8 made free throws a game over this, what was that, 12 games? Yeah, 12 games straight on the road. So I like it. I'm not kind of scared off by this outing on January 4th, because we know he just had a really bad shooting day. If he burns us, then okay, you did it to us again. But in this case, I'm willing to roll the dice on this and say, hey, you know what? I'm just going to chalk it off to a bad shooting game. Hopefully you can clean things up. Seems like you're kind of in rhythm right now, 4 out of his last 5. So I actually really like this play a lot. Let's see what Daily Grind thinks. Yeah, the Daily Grind stuff that we're checking is really just to see like what kind of a value are we getting versus other platforms. So they like a lot of his unders too, probably because maybe a lot of the public is on his overs. The only one that they're middle of the road on is his points assists at 16.5, 22.5. They're showing the under, but it's a 50% hit rate is what they're saying, odds to hit. Turnovers, they have a 50-50 on the 2.5 turnovers. And this is one where we're taking fantasy score. So let's just take a peek at the turnovers. Has it been bad lately? It's just the one game where he went for 6. Other than that, he's only gone over 2.5 once out of his last 5 games. So keeping it relatively clean. Let's look at the steals in these last 5. So he hasn't been very active on defense lately. I believe one of the reasons that I wanted to take this though is for fantasy score is not necessarily, I usually aim for the defensive upside. Let's see, he maybe is, yeah, he's not even that active on defense. The thing is, I don't want just the points alone. I want some of the rebounds, I want some of the assists, and we're not getting that. So it's either they had like turnovers, points, and you know, it was just really limited. So if you see something else on there that you prefer, you can take that. I just ran with the fantasy score because it looks great, 71% on the season, and then like we said, 12 games straight on the road. So that's part of it's like a rare situation where the defensive upside is not the reason I'm taking the fantasy score. Let's keep it rolling. All right, so Jahsean, I hope I'm saying that right. Let me know in the comments. I would assume Corbett, but a lot of the videos I watched, they were saying Corbett. Either way, I like the way this dude has been playing, and we can only take his points, which is such a bummer. When I was watching this, I'm like, this dude is stealing the ball, playing solid defense, getting blocks and steals. Wish I could get more than just the points, but 7.5 points, I'll take it. 71% hit rate on the 2024 season, 17 out of 24 games, looking solid. And then this note from Outlier is what sold me. He's cleared it in 18 out of his last 19 games on the road. He's averaging 15.3 points on the road. Yeah, that's a little bit inflated because we got the 29-point game here. We got multiple 20-point games here. Seems like he was kind of like, really getting in rhythm here. And then it sort of came back down a little bit, spiked back up in a close game. And then he missed it once, and then he's kind of getting back into rhythm here. But 8 points is all we need from him. In these road games, he's averaging 34.9 minutes, relatively consistent. He just had a little bit here more recently where his minutes spiked down to 22. Other than that, I mean, he bounced right back to 2 back-to-back games on the road of 30 minutes. But on the road, he's actually shooting more often, 12.7 attempts, shooting 46% from the field. Not really getting it done beyond the arc, 29%. That's we want more than that. Just 2.1 attempts, but getting to the free throw line a decent amount of times, 4.6 attempts a game over these 12 road games, and then shooting 67%. Not great, but still 3.1 made free throws a game will help us get to that 8. But yeah, I love the 35 minutes pretty much on average. Do we have a head-to-head to take a look at? Okay, so yeah, last time he played them was just on January 21st, and he went for 8 points, went for exactly what we need. 33 minutes, which is in the projections of what we're aiming for. And then he had a good outing. I mean, 7 attempts, he made 4. So 57%. If you're shooting 57%, you're dominant, but on a small sample size, that's not that crazy. 4 out of 7 shots you made. Only went to the line twice last time, or didn't go twice, but had 2 free throw attempts and didn't cash either of them. Wasn't in foul trouble, just 2 fouls, 33 minutes. I'm liking it. Again, I wish if by the time you're watching this, if they do give you the fantasy score, I'd be taking a look at that, because from what I watched, he looks pretty solid on defense. And a relatively tough matchup on points, but he's getting the minutes, and this is a low line. And like we said, 12 straight road games of averaging 15 points. So I'm comfortable with the 8 here. Let's take a look. Well, I'm comfortable with 7.5. So they just have this slightly favored to the under. They have it at 50.61% odds to hit the under, -123. And that's because everybody has it at 7.5. If that's the opening line, they're kind of assuming the market makers have a little bit of an edge on the public. So they're assuming, okay, there's no value here on the line you're getting compared to what everyone has it at. And so they're all kind of favoring it to the under, because this is probably the line that this opened at, and it hasn't been bumped at all. So I'm comfortable with it. You guys don't have to take it, but I'm gonna be putting it in my lineup. All right. So Malachi Smith, excuse me. His 4.5 assists. I know he's only done this twice out of his last 5. Excuse me. I need some coffee real quick. Sorry. I don't usually like to take long breaks in here, but I just need a little bit of coffee. But 2 of these games that he missed, he still went for 4. This could very easily be 4 out of his last 5 games. And you can see the minutes kind of correlating a little bit. Not necessarily in this game on the 28th. He still had 27 minutes, but then down to 21. He only had 1 assist, and then 17 minutes, 4, kind of bouncing his way back up to 25. He gets his 5. In the head-to-head, he went for 9 last time he matched up, and this was just on the 21st. So recent outing, 31 minutes, and pops off for 9 assists. And the assist matchup is kind of tough, top 100 in assists allowed. But I'm a pretty big fan of this play, actually. Let's take a look at this note here. He's cleared it in 9 out of his last 10 games at home. So he's averaging 6.6 assists at home, 90% hit rate. And then this could very easily be 100% hit rate. The game that he missed was against really tough, top 10 in assists allowed opponent. And he still popped off for 4. So this could very easily be, what would that be? 10 straight games. So I'm liking it. I'm gonna be taking it for more here. If we look at these, so these are games at home. If we look at these last 10 home games, averaging 27.8 minutes, just 1.6 fouls, not getting in foul trouble. But yeah, he went for 4 in that last game with only 17 minutes. So I would expect him to, I'm hoping that he gets, at least knocking on the door at 20 minutes, if not more than that. Let's take a look at his last 5 games. So yeah, we saw the minutes were slowly coming down here, and then he spiked up here for 25 minutes. So we'll see how it goes. This is what popped off to me when I was looking at plays, and I kind of like having, I like these assist props when it's a value like this. 4.5 doesn't seem too difficult to get it done. He's averaging 6.6 a game over this 5-game stretch, even though he only cleared the 4.5 twice. Like I said, this could very easily be 4 out of his last 5. Only 1 game was a little bit of a, discrepancy here where we're kind of like, that's pretty bad. But other than that, he's just about cashed this 4 out of his last 5. And then what do we say? Almost 12 straight games, almost 10 straight games on the road. So let's take a look at the 2024 season in full. So 71% hit rate, 17 out of 24 games. And then let's look at his home games. His home games for the whole season, 12 out of 14. So 86% hit rate at home, cashing this. So it's hitting all the indicators. I'm going to be rolling it with confidence. And let's take a look and see what the old optimizer thinks. They love it. They have it as his best play. They have it favored to the over, 51.45% odds hit the over, -127. Everyone's got this at 4.5. Everyone's favoring it to go over. So yeah, they also like his PRA. If you'd rather take that, 16.5. That doesn't seem too bad. You guys want to take a look at it real quick? I can. 51.05% odds hit the over, -128. They also like his point. No, they don't like his points. They just like the full PRA, and they like the assists. I'm rolling the assists, but let's take a look at that PRA for you guys real quick if you want to pivot. So 58% hit rate on the season, 14 out of 24 games. Let's look at the head-to-head. He didn't get this done in the head-to-head. He was just facilitating. How many shots did he even take? 2 attempts. No thanks. I'm just going to stick with the assists here. Yeah, I mean, bro went for 9. So if we look at his last 5, it's just the same 2 out of his last 5, but these 3 middle games were not even close as opposed to the assists alone, where he almost cashed 4 out of his last 5. So I'm comfortable with it. If you guys do want to check out this app, Daily Grind, you can see this is how I use these apps. Outlier is my bread and butter. I swear by that app. I promise you guys, you will, if you spend some time with it, like I have, and you learn how to use that tool, it will put stuff on your radar that you're like, and you get into a flow state. You start to just like, I can quickly hop on and I know what my indicators are. I can quickly hop on and feel confident of like, I mean, like I just started college ball yesterday and it's not like I'm killing it yet, but I'm just telling you that the Outlier app, I swear by it. I love this app too from Daily Grind, the DFS optimizer, but you can see how I vet my plays. So I do my research with Outlier and then I vet my plays with the DFS optimizer. And so yeah, it just basically puts stuff on your radar that looks like a value. And they have the odds to hit indicator. They show you what all the other platforms are giving it to you at and what their odds are. So as you learn how to use these tools, it's just going to help you have a more informed decision on the plays you're taking. You can get 25% off of this if you use code BACKDOOR over at dgfantasy.com. And for Outlier, you can try this one out for free. So you just sign up through the link below for Outlier, and they're going to give you a week just to see how you like it. And if you like it for college ball, you'll love it for NBA because they have way more information for NBA. I'm sure they'll get there. It's probably just harder to get the information from 300 plus schools that are out there. But with the NBA, they get all of that data fed to them, and so they tell you like how many assists did he have potentially. They have like a potential assists option. They have a potential rebounds. Like they give you so much more information. You can adjust the minutes. You can I love this app. You guys hear me say it every video. I love this app. So try it out for free. Sign up through the link below. You don't need to put a code in. That's going to cover it. If you guys have any questions, I can do some research with you in the comments too. If you're looking at a player you're curious about, hit me up. I'll hop on. I'll do a little bit of research and I'll tell you what I'm thinking. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Enjoy your Saturday. Enjoy this big slate of games. Don't forget to like the video, drop me a comment, and I'll catch you in the next one.